that last resort piece is getting closer and closer to first responder as we go through this, as the scale, scope, frequency, duration, intensity, and simultaneity of these things goes on. So that's the first thing I would say. I would like to have a civilian agency do it, but in the absence of that, the Canadian Armed Forces need to get better at doing this and prepare. The second thing I would say is, again, this is a real issue that needs to be negotiated between all of the actors present. And to sit there and pretend that we can just snap our fingers and make a federal response that doesn't take into consideration either the needs, wants, and desires of the various actors, including foremost the provinces. But at the same time, the provinces have to be able to be seen to be paying for this in some way, either through increase in taxes or some kind of transfer mechanism to fund this, because otherwise we're talking about moral hazard, where the provinces are taking more risky decisions in terms of zoning permission to develop suburbs in places where there's traditionally been fires or flooding, and therefore saying, hey, we don't have to worry about it because we'll just snap our fingers and the feds will come and sort it out, either through this yet to be made federal response mechanism or the Canadian Armed Forces. There does exist a mechanism to charge back for Canadian Armed Forces deployments to these kinds of things. It does not happen by it. Whether we're talking about floods, fires, etc., the Department of National Defense pays for these kinds of deployments out of its budget. And therefore, I think this is where General Ayer's issue is. It's not just a preference, hey, I don't like doing these kinds of things. What he's really saying is, I have to pay for these things out of my existing budget, which I'm also competing with to upgrade anti-submarine warfare or get new air defense systems. It's all one pot of money. It's not growing, and yet I'm constantly being told to do more with the same or more with less as time goes on. So I think that issue needs to be sorted out more critically, more importantly, more urgently than can we create somebody else to do this. As much as it pains me to have this, I would very much I don't like the idea of militarizing these kinds of tasks. I don't think it's a good idea, ethically, politically, for a whole bunch of reasons. But that being said, there needs to be a real leaning forward on the part of the Canadian Armed Forces, and there needs to be a commitment to fund those kinds of things and augment those kinds of the defense funds, so they're not actually paying for this out of their already insufficient budget.